You're right, they motion McCaffrey, backwards pass to McCaffrey, and he's going to throw downfield wide open. Brandon Ayuk! Touchdown! San Francisco! He can run! He can catch!
Is on fire!
Christian McCaffrey can throw! Schultz to the other, going to throw out left, intercepted! Diamador Lenore!
Wow,
Dak
what a
Prescott
play!
just threw him the ball on the outcut going left to CeeDee Lamb. Diamador Lenore comes up with the game's first big play. Here's Prescott back, has time, throws out left, intercepted. Ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner. Jimmy Ward tipped the ball, and Fred Warner with the INT. They're going to give it to McCaffrey coming left. McCaffrey, touchdown! San Francisco! He has thrown one, he has caught one, he has run one.
Hey,
Breezy, gritty, this that 9 to
Mo's nose. Peachy, fear the dog. It's about that time, everybody turn your TVs on. The Mo's nose, Peachy, Breezy, and fair to God. They keep it nitty gritty when they bring you 9 to talk. We two gorilla, silverback, silver
You know
hawks.
it's busting the discussion cause we get it in. Every time you know we grinding, I was 8 to 10. We always play to win. The faithful going hard. It's Wayne, Breezy, Peachy, Mo's nose, and fear to God. Let's get it.
Nitty gritty, this the 9 to talk. Don't like it, better take a walk. Nitty gritty, this the 9 to talk.
We outline players up in chalk.
Nitty gritty, this the 9 to talk. Don't like it, better take a walk. Nitty gritty, this the 9 to talk. Nitty gritty, this the 9 to talk.
Yo, 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 yo! It's in the books. The Niners, they defeated the Lambs once again. Hey, Peachy, let's have a moment of silence so we can silence the Lambs one more time. You ready?
Gotcha.
All right, everybody, let's make some noise because the 49ers did it again. They did it again.
Yes, they
Sean
did.
McVay will never beat Kyle Shanahan in a regular season matchup. He may never, ever beat him again, Peachy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Let's put some red in the background. Let's get the red rum going on in the background because
Yes.
that man Brock Purdy
Red out.
in the background. Peachy, look, this game was crazy because it started off with the Niners looking like they were just going to come into Levi South and just dominate. And they did. And then it kind of ended up in a shooting match. Like, how are you feeling during this game?
Well, everybody knows if you read my tweets, I was up and down as the faithful. That's just what I am. I'm up and down. I was pissed at the defense. I felt like that the defense didn't wake up until after halftime. That kind of, I'm glad they woke up when they did because that's whatever. I was pissed off at our QB1 because I felt like that he missed some deep throws he should have connected on really easy. He did not. I was pissed off at some of the play calling that Kyle had, some of the missed tackles, especially the one that should have been a sack on Stafford. But then on the other flip side, I was also proud of the way that our defense finally came out and played like the 49er defense is supposed to. Got Matt Stafford to screw up like he's constantly known to do. And we get INTs off of it. So that was great. So it was just one of those roller coaster of emotion games that happens. Your blood pressure raises. Then it gets back down and raises again. And everything that we have a lot to work on. But I was very, very happy with the win.
Yeah, we definitely got a lot to work on, Peachy.
Yes.
Lots to work on. Defensively, offensively. I think the things that I started scratching my head with was just the dumb bonehead penalties. And I know, look, when you look at the game, you look at the stats, and you say penalties, we had 6 penalties for 57 yards, which was crazy because up until the fourth quarter, we only had 3 penalties, Peachy, for 17 yards, and those penalties were pissing me off. Then in the fourth quarter alone, they make the bonehead mistakes, and they end up having the same amount of penalties as the Rams with 1 more yard. Stuff happened early. I will say that I felt like Steve Wilkes, Peachy, made the biggest adjustments at the half.
Yes.
He had to figure it out, right? And you were saying that the defense were missing tackles. I was looking at it differently. I didn't feel like they were missing tackles. I felt like the Rams offense were just firing off at the ball, and they were running right by the defenders, especially the linebackers. They were getting pushed down into the ground and running by the defenders. And I remember saying to you, well, we're not aggregating any type of pressure. Right. So Stafford was just looking extra comfortable in the pocket. And he was really giving the San Francisco 49ers a taste of their own medicine. The quick throw game, right? The quick throw game. What did the Niners do? Why do we love Brock Purdy? Gets the ball out of his hands quick.
That's right.
Let's talk about Brock Purdy, Peachy, because on today, I watched Brock Purdy attempt passes down the field, and he missed all 3.
Yep.
All right. Then he had one big one to Juwan Jennings. So let's just say he was 1 for 4 in the deep throws. I have to look at the stats just to see. But they were all misses, all overthrows. I won't question his arm and saying that he can't get the ball down the field. The first one was the Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk runs the slant and go, or the slug, or whatever you want to call it. Yes. Brandon Ayuk has his guy beat, and there's like nobody in front of him. And if that throw's placed properly, that's a touchdown. Then the next one was to Juwan Jennings, and that was into double coverage. But guess what? Juwan Jennings' slow ass had double coverage beat. Let that sink in. He beat his double coverage. He split the 2 defenders. And next thing you know, it's a wide open throw. That was overthrown. And then the last one. And I'm just like, oh, you got to make these throws. Those were touchdowns, in my opinion. At least 2 of the 3 would have been touchdowns, in my opinion.
Yeah. So the one thing that I was going to say is, I know that you had said that the Rams were basically like mirroring what we do, and that's what they were trying to do. But nobody can do the 49ers like the 49ers. For all you Rams fans who tried to copy, everything and try to mirror image what the 49ers do, you can't do it like the 49ers.
You can't do it like the Niners.
No.
Sean McVay wants to be Kyle Shanahan.
So bad. So bad.
Sean McVay wants to be Kyle Shanahan. But I tell you what, the only thing I give Sean McVay is that Super Bowl win. Like, they got the win. They beat the Niners 20-17 because Jaquiski Tartt drops an interception to seal the deal. But beats the Niners 20-17. I get it. Game that counts. Whatever. I tell you what, all the games count. You know why, Peachy? Because if you win the games in your division, you win a playoff spot. Matter of fact, the San Francisco 49ers are first place in the NFC West.
First.
Number one.
We are in sole position of the NFC West.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Everybody talking that trash. Let's go.
Right. That's right. We are first in the NFC West in sole. We have all of it. Yep. We're in number 1. That's right.
A lot of stuff to digest from this game. But the most important part is we won the game. And
yes,
I did want to talk. I wanted to kind of address the amendments that Steve Wilkes made in that second half by applying or generating more pressure. All right. So let's talk about the first pressure that he generated, and it was a total whiff. Because if Charvarius Mooney-Ward makes that sack, the Rams don't get anything from that.
Yeah, that was really bad. He whipped on that one really bad.
But how do you think he missed? Like just run on a slant, run on a diagonal. So that way, if the quarterback tries to make any type of an elusive type of a move, you there to cover your ground. He dove, which gave up his ground and allowed Matthew Stafford to be slippery and shake and step to the side.
Yes. Hey, I have to interrupt you 1 second. I thought Ramelia said he was going to come in here win or lose. I haven't seen him yet. So I'm waiting to see him come in here. And where's old Jim Everett?
I don't see any Rams fans.
Of course not. None. Zero. None
right
of them.
now. No Rams fans here. Now listen, let's do some of these super chat contributions while they
Okay.
come in. All right, I'm gonna foghorn everybody that's in here. JP Hella Hard, what's going on? Same sorry as lambs. Bye. Same sorry as lambs. Jax Knox, second down, 15 to go, 17-0, baby. Best birthday gift ever, even though it was ugly, but a win is a win. I didn't think it was ugly. It just wasn't as dominant as I thought it would have been. I didn't think the defense would give up 23 points.
But the thing is that a lot of people thought that we were just going to run roughshod over this team. You guys got to remember, these are division teams. This is also Sean McVay. And him being one of the smartest coaches that we have in the National Football, like, ain't nobody going to roll over for this 49ers squad. Like, it's not happening. Like, I had 34-17 is what I had. So I was kind of in there, but it was by no means going to be a blowout because you still have Matt Stafford.
But Peachy,
you can't discount him.
Peachy.
I'm just saying.
You and there's nothing wrong with what you're saying, but I'm not going to sit here and discredit the faithful for feeling like they're going to beat up on a bunch of young kids that has never played football before. So you look at this Rams team, it's Matthew Stafford and a bunch of young rookies, young players that haven't proven themselves yet in the NFL. When you have the number one weapon, like top 5 wide receiver in the league not playing, you don't expect a rookie draft pick to come in there and do this. This is what he did to the defense. You ready? All right. Just in case you guys don't know, let me tell you what Puka Nacua did to the 49ers defense, because he didn't torch them as far as like beat them deep. The 49ers played a lot of soft coverage. They played off a lot because they did not want to get beat deep by the speed of Tutu Atwell in this game. So they decided to keep everything underneath. All right. Everything underneath. He had 20 targets, Peachy, 15 receptions for 147 yards. But once again, guess what the Niners did? They kept him out of the end zone. And the only bright spot that they really had in this game, Peachy, was Kyron Williams, who caught a touchdown pass. Did he rush for one as well? And he did. So, like, he was their bright spot. And remember, I think on one of my keys to victory video, I said the Niners don't want to give up big plays and allow them to get down to the goal line because that's where they're going to score. That's where Kyron Williams scored, right there on the goal line, right? And so, look, Niners got a lot of work that they need to do, but you're right. You never want to, like, overlook any opponent, but especially one in the division. But right. I think a lot of people felt like, all right, Puka Nacua, he had a good week 1. He's not gonna come back out here and do it again. He did even better this week than he did in week 1, right?
Yeah, but see, I think what I'm trying to say is anytime that you play a division matchup, like you never know what's going to happen in that game.
I agree.
Whereas if you play someone who's out of the division, then I can be like, the 49ers are going to be like, I think the 49ers are going to massacre the Giants on Thursday.
No, I totally agree.
But anytime you play a divisional opponent, you just don't know how the game's going to go. So I guess I was just like, I think the score is going to be 34-17.
But wait a minute, you picked 34-17 on a divisional opponent. That's not no close ass game. That's 17 points.
No, what I was saying is that was what I went with but like I figured it was gonna be something crazy that was gonna happen. And we came out with the win, and that's what matters. We're top of the NFC West. Sean McVay got bested again. Like I said earlier, he tries to do the 49ers and he can't do it. And that's what happened, at least in the regular season. He can't do it. I felt our offense was going to put up points, and I'm glad that that our defense came to life. Because I literally put on Twitter something that I've never put. Defense, keep up with your offense.
Yeah.
Because our defense was like, and I feel like they heard me because then we started taking the ball away, getting to the quarterback, doing the things that we needed to do anyway. I tell you what, Puka is that dude is big.
He ain't playing next week.
He is big.
If you guys got Puka Nacua in your fantasy leagues,
like we should have him on our squad. Like
do not start him next week. Do not. I'm gonna tell you right now what he was sniffing. Before the game, like the moment I turned on the Sunday ticket, right? He was sniffing like the smelling salt. It was something pink before the game. Mm-hmm. So whatever that had him on some type of like, I'm not gonna feel much pain.
And he had like a bunch of padding because it showed it on the sidelines where he had on like all this padding just to get through this game because his ribs are jacked up bad. Like he shouldn't have even played today.
Listen, they were jacked up last week, but right now they're probably all the way broken. Yeah. He got hits. Definitely. He got hit pretty daggone hard. JPL Hard 2800 says undisciplined, sloppy game. We got short turnaround. Look, this is what everybody's going to be scratching their heads over because if we go to the series of events, when it all started, it started with a Jake Moody kick out of bounds. Instead of kicking it out of bounds, he kicked it out of bounds before he even got to the end zone, right? And then that gave them good yardage on their for field position. And then here come the penalties. And then you get the bonehead Greenlaw penalty, and it's just little. But the crazy thing is, Peachy, up until the fourth quarter, until the end of the game, we only had 3 penalties.
Yep.
3 penalties for 17 yards, Peachy.
Yep.
So even though we got penalties, the yardage wasn't affecting the 49ers as much. Like, it didn't really happen to like the very end of the game to where we ended up with 6 penalties for 57 yards. But you're right. We got to play a lot more discipline we just got to be better. I will give the horns to the 49ers offensive line. Aaron Donald had 0 tackles and 0 sacks.
Didn't even hear his name called one time during the game. At least I didn't hear it.
Now listen, he had a pressure, okay? He had a pressure. He was in the face, but 0 tackles, 0 sacks in this game. The 49ers offensive line didn't necessarily give up a sack. Brock Purdy was sacked on a run. Yeah, evading the pressure, which it was for no gain. So I thought it would have just been negated, but they counted that as a sack. So the Rams did end up with a sack. We ended up with a sack too. The Fred Warner, the blitz, he got there. We had tons of pressure toward the end of the game, but the Niners, man, like the question to me is why play such soft coverage all the time? Like, why are we playing 10 yards off of these underneath route pass catchers, yo? If we get burnt deep, we get burnt deep. That's what we got safeties for. And how about getting out of the cover 3 and just play cover 1? Leave it in cover 1, leave the single high safety back there, and let them make up and for the play if something happens over the top. But when it didn't make sense to play that far off, in my opinion, Peachy.
Yeah. That was I think that's what was aggravating me. But I'm just glad that Wilkes made the adjustments that he made, because he literally, being around this league for as long as he has, he knows how to make them adjustments. Once he made the adjustments, it started looking a whole lot better out there, because it was not. But
he did do what you asked him to do. Mm-hmm. We said he needed to adjust. We said that the real defense needs to come out.
Yes.
But I'm telling you, Steve Wilkes is in his bag. So a lot of people don't understand who Steve Wilkes is. So let me explain a little bit more on who Steve Wilkes. Steve Wilkes is a guy that will scheme up blitzes, right? So what he's trying to do is he's kind of measuring out what he can get without using the blitz, without utilizing the blitz. Because you don't want to overutilize the blitz. You want to make sure you call it up at the right moment. That right moment was when Fred Warner, the linebacker blitz, he just blitzed straight up the middle, untouched, and got right into the face of Sam Darnold and brought him down, right? He also tried to dial up the blitz earlier with Mooney Ward off the edge, and I don't even know if that was a blitz. It was more like he didn't have a guy to cover, and he had to go and make the tackle. So that might not have been a blitz. But my point is, he takes his time when he tries to dial them up, but he can dial them up. And I think that's what makes his defense special. He knows his cornerbacks, and he's able to dial them up. I want to talk shit. I want to talk about Isaiah Oliver. Everybody has been trashing this man.
Yep.
Everybody has been trashing Isaiah Oliver. And before we talk about Isaiah Oliver, what's going on, Gerald? He says, my wife and I just found out we're having another little Niner. To add to the gang, buying Niner baby clothes now. Go Niners. What I like to hear, man. Hey, man, send me your address. We'll send you some baby clothes, too. You know what I mean? Congratulations to the Rodents. Congratulations. You're going to name him or her Breezy? It goes both ways. It's a universal name. You know what I'm saying? Breezy. You know, but nah, man, congratulations, bro, to you and the missus, man. That's what we like to hear. And you got to win, too. Oh, listen. So let's talk about Isaiah Oliver. Peachy. Now, I know he hasn't put out his best. And I know he hasn't shown us in meaningless football what we expect the nickelback to be. And to be fair, in a DeMeco Ryans, Robert Saleh's type of defense, but in a Steve Wilkes defense, he knows who and what Isaiah Oliver can be. Don't you say the symmetry. I ain't even... Really? Really? Roy Boy, I see your comment. We're going to get to that. What's going on, Corey?
Love you too, Corey.
Let's talk about Isaiah Oliver. Tip drill interception. Dope open field tackle that forced a fourth down. Forced a punt. Got to put some respect on this kid's name. He finished the game with 7 tackles. 3 of them were solo. Obviously, the interception got 3 yards on the return, and he had a PD. Let's talk about Isaiah Oliver. Is this a rise to the 49ers defense?
I think it is a rise. And like you said, it's just different in this Wilkes. It's just different. And I think Oliver is just going to get better and better. I think he's rising, man. I was so impressed with him today. I don't know why people out there are just saying that, but whatever.
I don't know what it is, but I'm always willing to give players like the benefit because football is all about matchups. And some matchups you're going to win, some matchups you're going to lose, right? But it's all about how you recover if you end up losing a rep, you know what I mean? It's about how you recover from it. And I feel like Isaiah Oliver has been losing a lot and he hasn't really had the opportunity. Now listen, Ambry Thomas started the game, and Ambry Thomas, in my opinion, at one point in the game, he was leading in tackles. He wasn't getting beat deep, and he was on the receivers, but they were running a bunch of slant routes, and he was making the tackles. So he had 3 tackles. He ended up leaving the game with an injury, and that's where the change came in, and Isaiah Oliver had to go to nickel. I just feel like Isaiah Oliver, y'all got to give this guy some time and some patience in this defense. You got to allow him to gel because I got more interceptions from Isaiah Oliver than I do sacks from Nick Bosa. Let that shit sink in for a second.
Amen to that. Because apparently Bosa is still not back. So, he definitely made a bigger impact today. So, just saying.
Well, I'm not saying, okay. I'm not saying Bosa wasn't an impact. Bosa was definitely held 95% of the time.
He was. But Bosa's going to be held because that's just what they're going to do. And they usually do it at SoFi is where he gets held and they don't call it. Just like the crap that they called on us that probably wouldn't have been called if it was at Levi's or whatever. But
They had a real crazy call.
they did. They
Yeah.
really did. I just feel that Oliver on this team today, I feel like Oliver had a bigger impact. I don't know how many snaps Bosa had, but every time I looked, like he was on the sideline.
Oh, every time they put him on the TV,
Right.
he was.
Every time they put him on the TV, he was on the
I'm
sideline.
like, dang, he winded. He always drinking Gatorade water.
Right. I mean, he's out of breath, like the whole, because he's still getting in that football shape, and hopefully by the time we face the Cowgirls, he'll be ready to go by then.
Let's talk about Brock. Brock finished 17 for 25, 206 yards. His long was the 31. That was a deep ball down the field. Like I said, he was sacked. He didn't finish with a rating over 100, but he had a 93.1. All right, it's according to PFF. Yes. Matthew Stafford, I don't always want to call him Sam Bradford. Matthew Stafford was 34 for 55. He had to throw the ball 55 times. Remember I said make him throw the ball?
Yes.
55
Yes.
times?
That's right.
34 for 55, 307 yards. His yards per average, though, was 5.6. He was throwing the Brock Purdy routes, and Brock Purdy was taking more Matthew Stafford shots down the field. Crazy, right? This is the first game Brock Purdy hasn't had 2 TDs in. Like,
that's right.
Weird. No TDs for Brock. TD for Stafford. 2 interceptions for him, and his long was a 20. He finished with the 67.8. Let's go with Christian McCaffrey. Ooh. Christian McCaffrey, 20 carries. I hope everybody is happy. It's 2 carries less than he carried in the last game.
Yes.
116 yards. He averaged 5.8 yards per carry with the TD. His long was a 51. Debo Samuel had 5 rushes for 38 yards. Someone asked, was that screen, was it a pass or a run touchdown? They have it as a rushing touchdown. So, so it wouldn't be a catch. It was behind the line of scrimmage.
I think it was debated, and then they wound up finalizing it as a rush.
I mean, if the ball was thrown behind the line, that means it's a behind the line, backward lateral pass, so it's kind of like a run. So if he didn't catch that, it would have been a fumble. You know what I'm saying? But he did. Now, let's talk about Debo Samuel, because Brandon Ayuk sustained a neck to shoulder type of an injury in this game. I wish they would have took him out of the game. I'm sorry, because I wanted to preserve him. But he kept coming back in. He's clearly a warrior. He finished with he saw 6 targets, 3 receptions. He finished with 43 yards.
Yeah, they were trying to get him. Like, they kept trying to attack him because they knew he was hurt, which is what, they do. Whenever you have someone who's hurt, then you keep going after them, and you keep trying to attack them. And that's what they were doing. I'm hoping that he's not going to play Thursday. I'm hoping that they leave him out until the next game so he can heal.
Well, I want him to play Thursday. If he's healthy, if he's healthy enough to play, I want him to play Thursday. Like, you kind of need Brandon Ayuk out there on that football field. Especially Giants play a lot of man too, so that would be great matchups for him and his defenders. But if he's unable to go, I get what you're saying, but I'm hoping he'll be healthy enough. Short turnaround coming up this week. But Christian McCaffrey also saw 3 targets, 3 receptions, 19 yards. But again, Debo, 9 targets, 6 receptions, 63 yards in the air. Jawan Jennings had the big one, though. 3 targets, 2 receptions, 51 yards. 51 yards for Jawan Jennings. His long, he had the long of 31. Average yards per reception, 25.5. George Kittle, very minimal utilized in the pass catching game. Saw him in the run blocking game.
Oh, yeah.
3 targets, though, 3 receptions, 30 yards, average 10 yards per catch.
Blocking his butt off today.
Yeah, man. Look, I don't know what to say about George Kittle other than when they need him, they will call on him. Yeah. So until then, Kittle is going to be utilized the way that they need him. But the offensive line, Peachy, and I haven't gotten a chance to watch all 22 yet, but watching the game, the offensive line impressed me. They were the most impressive group out there, in my opinion, run blocking and pass protecting. What were your thoughts on the O-line?
I thought the O-line did just fine. I'm sure that it also helped to have Kittle back there blocking as well. And I think in a game like this that he's probably going to block as long as, the D-line is strong, just like the Rams line is. And he's going to need to. So like you said, as far as Kittle goes, like, when we can, use them other ways, then we will. But other than that, definitely block and definitely help the O-line to be able to do what they did today. Was definitely a major part of that. Absolutely. I thought the O-line did really, really well today. That actually shocked me how well the O-line played today.
Nah, because we thrashed that right side last week.
Yeah, we did.
And I know they were listening to us. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure Kyle got in their behinds as well. And remember, they said, listen, McKivitz is going to be fine. Burford is going to be fine. They were just the weakest links in that particular matchup in Pittsburgh. The 49ers went on the road, back-to-back games on the road, and won both games.
That's right.
The first week might have been convincingly. The second week might have been a little bit more of a challenge. But, Peachy, you talked about why it was a challenge. It's a divisional game.
Yeah.
They've seen us play numerous times. We've seen them play numerous times. It's a divisional game.
Yep. Yeah, it was definitely a little challenging. Pretty sure this game Thursday is going to be a whole lot different. And we just, like, our biggest challenge is Dallas. And we have to make sure that, we do every preserving. That's why I'm just wondering, like, if Ayuk is banged up at all and the 49ers, feel like maybe he could just use all that to rest and to heal if he is. All I'm saying is I wouldn't put him out there on a short week Thursday, because if he gets worse, I mean, we can't have that. So if he is hurting or injured, rather, not just hurting, but injured, then that might be something that they may want to think about.
I mean, if he's injured, they're probably going to have to put him on IR and then officially shut him down and bring in somebody else, like bring up somebody else or something if he's injured.
But he may not be. Just like you said, he may just, what I'm saying, like he might just be good.
Right.
And he
but
may
if he's hurt, I mean, he's got to play. That's the difference. I mean, because I know Ronnie Bell would love to get an opportunity to get out there. Sure. Speaking of Ronnie Bell had 2 key blocks.
Yes, he did.
In this game. I'm telling you, these wide receivers could block.
Yes.
Oh, speaking of block, Peachy, let's talk about the Jawan Jennings. They called it a crackback block.
Oh, yeah. That made me mad.
Jennings stopped to his side, and the linebacker didn't see him. Mm-hmm. And then Jennings braced himself, and the linebacker runs into a wall and gets the wind knocked out of him, and it's a 15-yard.
And it's Jennings' fault.
It was Jennings' fault.
Like, what?
It's crackback. It's crackback block is what they call it. Crackback.
They just had to call something because they just,
Yeah.
They just had to call something.
Crackback block.
That would make me mad. I'm like, come on now.
I didn't see him launch the shoulder. I saw the shoulders kind of like stand like and play, like it was like more of an embrace, like, oh man, I'm about to get hit. But if he launched it, it's crackback. If he did, I'll watch it again. Don't worry, I'll be watching this game all the way up until Wednesday night. I promise. What's going on, Anthony? We got Facebook people in the group. I love that. Awesome. Eddie G and the Bulldogs in the building. What's going on, baby?
I just don't think that he did anything. I think that it was just crap that they shouldn't have. But like I said, you'll go back and then you'll let us know. Like what.
Well,
you see.
I honestly didn't see him launch. If he launched it, cool.
I don't think he launched like either.
I didn't see that.
It might have been. I think they just called it because
it might have. But it might have been subtle. It might have been subtle enough for them to call it. I just didn't see. It looked like he stopped. That's what I saw. I saw the person stop, set himself up for the hit, and then boom. Oh, but hey, it is what it is. They called it. Eddie G and the Bulldogs. Dub, enough said. Love y'all. Home opener Thursday night. Let's effing go.
Let's go.
Let's effing go. Ah, man. Hey, man, look. It is what it is. Look, I'm excited, Peachy. The Niners are 2-0. They're still at the cream. They're top of the league. They may be number one in power rankings again, right? And I don't see how they would go down if they just beat a team that was first place in the division.
So we won't. We'll be first again, and I mean, just because we just beat, just like you said, who's first in the division. Not to mention is how the Rams looked against Seattle last week.
Yeah.
So
did Seattle beat Detroit today?
We'll definitely be number one again in that. So
let's just double check. Did Seattle beat Detroit? Let's see. They did. So Seattle did beat Detroit in overtime. Damn it, Detroit! Y'all had one job.
I know. 37-31.
Not to give Seattle any life, and they gave Seattle life. They gave Seattle life. Listen, I'm excited. We got our show tomorrow. Hopefully the crew will be here tomorrow.
Yes.
We'll have a full crew. No, I didn't fire Fair because we're going to end the show talking about the best kicker in football. I'm talking about Jake Moody, who went 3 for 3 back-to-back games.
And keep on with it.
He kicked a 57-yard down the middle. Middle. M-I-T.
How many
T-L-E.
how many times has that been done for the 49ers ever?
I don't know. Why don't you tell us?
I think that this makes the second time.
Who do we know who that
history that a 49er kicker has kicked anything past a 57.
Hold on.
Just saying.
I've been way too nice. I've been way too nice. I've been allowing y'all to bash this kid.
Yep.
Bash the confidence of this young man.
Get him.
I've been allowing it to go on because everybody just would say, oh, that's Breezy's Michigan guy. Well, you know what? My Michigan guy kicked that damn field goal 57 yards. 57.
Down the middle.
It was down. None of his field goals have been skewed to the left or skewed to the right. That quad injury, that was all bull. It was bull. Straight up. It was Kyle Shanahan playing the shenanigans game.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, my kicker got a quad injury. He's going to have to miss the last preseason game. But don't worry, we got Zane Gonzalez, who we are trying to trade. Oh, wait a minute. He gets injured during the pregame. Hey, Money Mitch, go out there and kick them joints for us.
Get him. Because you got, like, it never, right. Story, yes. This right here, story for texting or whatever. I'm probably going to say the name wrong or just mess it all up.
Story 4x4ing.
Okay. Gold never came close. No, you know why? Because it's only been done one other time by a 49er kicker past 57 yards. And that's it. And I'm talking in 49er history. Like, I looked it up. And this is only the second time that it's been done.
I'm trying to figure out who that kicker was. I'm looking for it. Was it Mike Cofer? I know GSU for Life said Mike Cofer used to kick 50-yarders. I'm gonna find out. If I don't have the information right now, I'll find out.
Because it's 57 though. It's not 50.
He was just saying, yeah.
So it's got to be whichever 49ers kicker in past history kicked one that was 57 yards or better than that. Only Moody was the second. So I'm just saying.
What I've been trying to tell all these mother out here is that the Niners have another weapon that they drafted in the 3rd round. This is a weapon. You can kick if your kicker, and I'm not saying he's going to be perfect, but my point is his confidence is getting greater and greater. Mm-hmm. And so now, you need a 57-yarder? Okay, no problem. 61, coach? Yeah, put me out there. 64, fuck it. Let's give it a try.
Yep.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want that to be the issue. I want us to convert, to first downs and things like that. Convert these 3rd downs into first downs.
David Akers.
David Akers. Oh, the receipts, I got them. Flow
and
right,
plumbing. David Akers kicked a 63-yarder. Is his longest.
I feel like Kyle Shanahan is going to have Moody at some point in this season break that record. Now, I don't want
David Akers
to be in that situation. Understand what I'm saying. I don't want to be in the situation, but I'm confident that if our kicker, Jake Moody, has to go out there and do this, I'm confident that it'll get done. And I want people to just understand, like, why. It's because this kid, when the games count, when the games matter, he's on point. And I bet you coaches won't be using them timeouts to ice the kicker now.
Oh, no.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
He's
like
literally just warming up. There's a long season. Like, he's literally just warming up. He may kick a 63-yarder. I mean, he did at Michigan before. So, I mean, it's not like he can't do that in the NFL.
That's what kicking the ball is kicking the ball.
I know that in practice or whatever where he's practicing, like sometime since he's been with the Niners, he kicked a 60-something yarder.
Yeah.
So,
look,
wouldn't surprise me.
Peachy, the Niners win. That's the only thing that mattered.
Yes.
There's a lot of stuff that they got to work on. And all this week, we're going to talk about some of the things they need to work on in order to stay victorious and beat the Giants. Go on a 3-game winning streak, win at home. All right. The Giants just came off of a win against Arizona. A comeback win on top of that. Notice how that's the subtitle to the thumbnail in this show, the comeback, because we had to come back to win. The Niners scored in this game at the end of the first half and didn't look back. I think they gave up 3 points, if I'm not mistaken, because it was tied 17-17 at the half.
Yes.
And 3 points. The Niners only gave up 3 points in the second half.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Hey, and you know what, GSU for life? You got to.
That's
right. You right. You know why? Because everybody kept saying we needed to get Robbie Gould back. Everybody kept saying we needed a new kicker. Everybody, because he didn't prove it to anybody. So after 2 games, am I crowning him? He's already been ordained the kicker for the 49ers by our head coach. I've been telling everybody he's going to be fine.
Yep.
And I don't know.
That's what Kyle said.
That's what Kyle said.
He was fine.
He was fine.
He was fine. He was ready to go. Looks like there'll be no Saquon Thursday.
Dang.
So it looks like it's going to be Breida.
Breida the cheetah. He's back, huh? All right. He's back. Listen, the Niners did not give up a sack to Aaron Donald. He didn't even get a tackle in this game. The Niners ran at him, ran away from him. They did everything that they needed to do to negate his pass rushing ability and his dominance out there on the football field. He did have a pressure. I did watch that. He might have had 2. All right. But the 49ers made the proper adjustments they needed to make to come out of this game victorious on the road. Things they need to correct. Obviously, they got a bunch of stuff they need to work on. It starts with them being disciplined. Peachy, you talked about that at the very beginning. I think the Niners are going to be just fine. They are still not in their groove yet either. All right. So if the Eagles can win ugly and not look like themselves, or the Chiefs can win ugly and not look like themselves, it's okay if the 49ers win ugly and not look like themselves. I think the key is defining what their new self is supposed to look like, what their new identity is going to be in 2023. So, look, let's enjoy the win. Drink up. I'm not drinking tonight, but enjoy the win. Make sure Peachy's got her drink. Enjoy the win. Have fun. We'll be back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Nitty Gritty Niners Talk will be back. Niners win. Y'all should all be damn celebrating. It's going to be a Victory Monday on tomorrow, so walk into work with everything swinging. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. Have a good damn time. Enjoy the night. Sunday Night Football's coming on. We love y'all. Peace out, y'all. Thanks for watching. Hey.
Breezy, gritty, this that Niners
Mo's
talk.
nose. Peachy,
Fair to go.
It's about that time. Everybody turn your TVs on. The Mo's knows Peachy, Breezy, and Fair to God. They keep it nitty gritty when they bring you Nana Talk. We 2 gorilla silverback, nah, silver
You know it's
hawks.
busting good discussion cause we get it in. Every time you know we grinding, I was 8 to 10. We always play to win. The faithful going hard. It's Wayne, Breezy, Peachy, Mo's nose, and Fear to God. Let's get it.
Nitty gritty, this the Niners talk. Don't like it, better take a walk. Nitty gritty, this the Niners talk. We outline players up in chalk. Nitty gritty, this the Niners talk. Don't like it, better take a walk. Nitty gritty, this the Niners talk. Nitty gritty, this the Niners talk.